So let's chant together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sriyutapadakammalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Hare Krishna. Let's start our Sunday feast lecture. And right now the feast is the feast about the glories of Lord Krishna. And today I want to speak on this topic of books are the basis. So I'm doing this series of ABCDs. So last time I talked about the importance of association, and association is called the key to Krishna consciousness. Association is crucial, but then there are things that strengthens those that journey in spiritual progress, and and so A B C stands for chanting. Chanting is the crucial or the yuga dharma. So chanting, and then there is D. D stands for dieting, or also sometimes it is refers to deity worship. Dieting on not fasting, but dieting on Krishna Prasad, taking only Krishna Prasad. So we will cover that in the future sessions. But today I want to talk about books. So ABCD: association, books, chanting, and diet. Krishna Prasad of diet of Krishna Prasad. So books. Why books are so important? So I will begin with Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I hope you can still see my screen, or did I stop sharing?
Yes, please stop sharing too.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. So I'm reading from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna in the 18th chapter declares this, and this 18th chapter is called the perfection of renunciation. Also, you can think of a book, the last chapter would contain the conclusion, right? What is the conclusion of that work? So in the 18th chapter, verse 70, Krishna declares, I have the words on the screen. Adyesyate cha imam dharmyam samvadam avayo jnana yajnena tenaham ishtasyam iti me matihi. So translation, and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So Lord Krishna is declaring that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken not just for Arjuna's benefit. Krishna knew that all this work is going to be compiled in written form by Srila Vyasadeva, and future generations will study this conversation. So that is why he specifically says that I declare that he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So studying of this Bhagavad Gita is worship, actually. It is not different from worship. It is worship through intelligence. One has to apply his intelligence when studying a book. Hmm? So there is some thought process that is involved. It is not like watching television where there is no thought process. There is no opportunity for contemplation when one is watching something on the television, right? One goes with the flow. Huh? And you may also notice you can, if you watch television, any program, they will change the screen every 3 seconds, because if you just look at every advertisement, they will change the screen every 3 seconds, because according to their research, human attention span can start to drift after 3 seconds. So they keep this to keep it interesting for the eyes. Oh, what's going to happen next, right? So they will keep doing that, but there is no contemplation, there is no thought process, there is no intelligence applied. Huh? But Krishna is saying that I declare that he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. And in the next verse, he says, Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyat apiyo naraha so api mukta shubha lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. Translation, and one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So this is the for those who listen, right, with faith and envy, without envy becomes free, and one who listens with faith and without envy. This is very crucial. With faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So I'll read the purport. In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gita's being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class, and in that class, not all students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. They have faith in him as the supreme personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary systems where all righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the results of righteous activities. Thus, a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from all sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord. So the verse reads again, and one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So I seek the blessings of all assembled Vaishnavas so that I can speak something, and that is repeat the words of previous acharyas and on this topic of book distribution. So in that purport that we just read, Srila Prabhupada stresses some important points that 67th chapter, 67th verse of the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gita being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. And in that verse that we read, Sri Krishna says, one who listens with faith and without envy. So those two criteria needs to be there. Faith must be there and envy should be absent. So Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. So sometimes devotees may hold an open class, like we are having this class right here. And sometimes any person can dial in, because anyone who has the dial in information can attend. In India, there are open pandal programs, right, where topics about Krishna are spoken. Now, why conduct such programs if there is a chance that there might be envious people present there? I mean, you cannot screen someone from coming in asking them, "Are you envious of Krishna?" Right? Anyone is admitted. It's open. So the reason is given is that there are many people who are not envious of Krishna. So they are the innocent. Innocent means they don't hold any kind of agendas in their mind that I am God or Krishna is not God or something else. They have faith in him as the supreme personality of God. So they have the first criteria, which is they have some faith. If such a person hears from a bona fide devotee, then the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. There is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tatha rajas tamo bhava kamalobhadayasche cheta etam anavidham stitam satve prasiddhati, that all the unwanted things from the heart will get destroyed when one hears from a pure devotee of the Lord. All the sinful reactions are nullified. Therefore, even just by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the results of righteous activities. So that is the glory of hearing about the Lord from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is, Krishna is explicitly saying that whoever reads this conversation worships me by his intelligence. So reading books is especially meant for this age. So the Srila Prabhupada, out of his causeless mercy and upon instructions from his guru, he wrote many books, translated the Vedic literatures which were in Sanskrit into the English language. And he was instrumental, and he is still instrumental in spreading this knowledge all over the world. I mean, this is not that it happened 40, 50 years ago and it is not happening anymore. No, it is still happening. There is this disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Grace Vijaya Prabhu. He is the minister for book distribution. And one of the things he shared, I mean, he has been distributing books for more than 40 years now. And one of the things he mentioned is that many people came to the ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by virtue of the books. So the books are very powerful, and they have transformed thousands of lives. And so reading Srila Prabhupada's books is very important because it can transform people's life. And one can, as the Bhagavatam verse says, right, Tatha rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayasche, that all the unwanted things from the heart will get removed and a person will become situated in pure goodness. Mhm. And this is a very important aspect of reading Srila Prabhupada books with faith. Srila Prabhupada spent so much um, energy and his time in translating his books. So there are some mentions of Srila Prabhupada that have been given by the previous acharyas. Of course, we hear about the mention of Srila Prabhupada as the Senapati Bhakta, like the commander Bhakta who preached this message of Sri Krishna all over the world. So in the Sri Sampradaya, which is a bona fide school for spiritual realization, Ramanujacharya is very prominent, and he made a prediction that there will come a time when the whole world will be chanting the holy names of Hari. And who made that prediction possible? And that is Srila Prabhupada. One of the 12 disciples of Sri Ramanujacharya, his name is Vishnu Chitta, he said that there will come a time when people who are wearing vertical tilak, they will be raising their hands in the air and they will be chanting the holy names of Hari. So this is a prediction that was given hundreds of years ago by a disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya. And that is becoming a reality by the efforts of Srila Prabhupada, who is an empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He is empowered to preach this message of the Supreme Lord all over the world. We can see that Bhagavad Gita is available in every language possible. All the scriptures, even Bhagavatam, Prabhupada translated, it is all available. And Prabhupada spent a lot of effort into that. There is a story, there is an inscription in a South Indian temple, and I heard this in a class that when the British came to India and they were doing this conquering, right? Colonization. So they were conquering one province after another and subjugating people to the rule. So there was this king in the South Indian province, and he was very strong, and the British were not able to defeat him. So they employed one of the the tricks of politics, which is to try to make a treaty with that king. So what they did was they invited this king for a friendship treaty, and they said, "You please come and let's sign this treaty, and we will be friends, and that way you and we don't have to be in competition." So the king, trusting the British, went. So they decided to meet near the temple of Lord Vishnu. This is happened hundreds of years ago. The king, in good faith, went there along with his ministers, right? And what the British had done was that they had surrounded the temple, this location, with their soldiers. And as soon as the king came in good faith without his army or without a significant entourage or anything, they started shooting and killing every one of them. And one of the ministers escaped, and he sought refuge inside the temple of Lord Vishnu. And he was a devotee, and he started questioning Lord Vishnu about this. Like he had such firm faith that he questioned Lord Vishnu that how can you let this happen? How can you let the king be killed and these mlechas and meat eaters to be taking over this countryside? and the deity had to speak to the devotee because the minister was a devotee. He said, the Lord Vishnu spoke to him and said, actually, it is my desire that the British take over this country and they introduce their language in this country. Hmm? Uh, what will happen in the future is that this very same language will be used in preaching my glories all over the world. All over the world, there will be devotees. So the minister started asking, like, who will do that? Who is going to preach that message? So Lord Vishnu replied that there will be a person who will be a sannyasi, and he will be carrying the tridanda, and his head will be shaven, and he will be chanting my holy names, and he will preach. He will take this message to all the other countries of the world, and he will be the one who will preach this message. And that person we all know is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the minister, as soon as he heard this, he ran and he wrote that in a stone so that it is there for future generations. This prediction, he wrote that, so that that prediction is coming to true, because Krishna wanted that this English language be introduced in India, and from India, this message is going back out into the Western countries. Like when the British were ruling India, one of the things they saw was this chariot festival, Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath. And they thought, what is this? They couldn't understand it. So they saw that the Rath cart is pulled by thousands and millions of people. They are pulling this Rath cart by thousands of people, and millions of people are attending. I mean, they have never seen so many people attend at once, and they thought that this is very low according to their standards. What are they? What are they? Why are they worshipping this idol form, wooden idol? What is this? And the Rath Yatra cart, it has specialty because sometimes the Rath will stop, and even if they pull with elephants and thousands of people pull, it won't move. Sometimes it will take a certain direction, and if there are buildings on the way, they have to destroy the building so that the Rath Yatra cart can pass through. So Jagannath, Lord of the universe, Krishna, he has his own will, and his cart will go as he desires. So the British thought, okay, this is not a very high standard. We should educate these Indians into proper culture. And they devised many ways to stop the Rath Yatra festival. But what happened is that the Rath Yatra festival didn't stop. It continued. Even during the time of the British, it continued. And in fact, by the work of Srila Prabhupada, the Rath Yatra cart festival started happening in the London itself, in the core of the British Empire, right? So in London, thousands of people attend the Rath Yatra cart. It happens every year. So this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. His work, his devotion, his service was so much that he was able to start Rath Yatra festivals all over the world, not just London, all over the world. Everywhere Jagannath glories are being sung. So this is the position of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada spent a lot of effort in writing these books. He was not the first to write books, right? The tradition began with Vyasdev. Vyasdev is the empowered incarnation, Shaktiavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. That Lord Vishnu took on this incarnation of Vyasdev to do this elaborate task of compiling the Vedic literatures. Vedic literatures are called as Shruti. Shruti because it is passed from spiritual master to disciple through the process of hearing. But Vyasdev understood that the people in this age of Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga means the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, He understood that people in this way age have lot of defects. Manda Sumanda, Manda Sumanda, Manda Bhagyo Vadrudaha. That they are not very intelligent. Like we cannot remember many things. Like what dress did we wear 5 days ago? What shirt did we wear? What did we have to eat 5 days ago or 2 weeks ago? If you one were to ask us, suddenly we will have to think like, oh, what did I do? I don't remember. Sometimes a whole week may pass and we may be so busy at work, and then at the end of the week we may think, what did I do all week? I don't remember. So our intelligence is not very sharp. uh, and moreover we are unfortunate because there are so many things that go wrong in life. uh, and then upadrudaha, that we are always disturbed. There is always anxieties. People are always busy. They are working hard, but there is a lot of things that goes wrong. There is social unrest. There are diseases. There is war, pestilence, famine. All kinds of problems are there. So he understood. He foresaw that people in this age are very in a distressful condition, and this age is called the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Hmm? But there is one good thing about this age of Kali, and that is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Shukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that Kalau Dhoshanidhe Rajan Asti Eko Hi Mahan Guna Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramvrate. That although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is one good thing about this age, and that is what? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one can achieve all perfection. So this is the special benediction for this age of Kali. And Srila Prabhupada took upon his order, the order of his spiritual master, to print books. His spiritual master asked him to preach the message of Krishna in all the Western countries. And he gave the instruction that if you ever get money, print books. Because if there is too much money in a place, automatically quarrel and hypocrisy will start manifesting if that place is not utilizing the money for Krishna conscious purposes. The story is there that when the personality of Kali, he surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj went looking for him and he understood, okay, Kali is about to begin. And he went looking for this personality of Kali. And Kali surrendered unto Parikshit. And Parikshit was not going to kill him, because you should not kill a surrendered person. So Kali asked Parikshit that this is my age, this is my time. I need a place to reside. As long as you are king, I cannot live anywhere. So Parikshit Maharaj said, you can live in 4 places. And what are those 4 places? Slaughterhouses, where meat is, animals are being killed for the purpose of meat consumption. Wanton killing, no regulation, that kind of activity. Second is places where intoxication is happening. Third is places where gambling is being practiced. And fourth is places where prostitution is happening. So this personality of Kali said, that is not good, because these 4 places don't even exist in your place, in your kingdom. And Parikshit was the emperor of the whole world. So where should I live? These 4 places don't even exist. So Parikshit gave the permission that you can live in places where gold is being hoarded or money is being accumulated. So you can see that any place where money is being hoarded by people, there is distrust, there is struggles, there is all kinds of quarrel happening if that money is not being utilized in the service of the Supreme Lord. This is true of religious organizations also. So if the money is not being spent in the service of the Supreme Lord, then automatically all kinds of unrest and quarrel and hypocrisy will start manifesting. So Srila Prabhupada was given this instruction by his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that whenever you get money, you print books, because these books are very powerful. There are many, many pastimes, too many to list in the time that we have, about the distribution of books and how they have changed lives. Many people in the West came to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness by reading one of Srila Prabhupada's books, and then they came and got some association. So they receive the books through association, like they meet some devotee on the street who distributes a book to them, and then they read the book, and then they come back in that association. They seek out, okay, what is this? What is that is present in this literature? They are intrigued, and they are interested in learning more, and they become devotees by that. So Vyasdev started this process of compiling books, and he compiled the entire Vedic literature. And Prabhupada follows in that tradition. So the Prabhupada follows the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. The six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna, that they should excavate the places of pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, and also that they should write books. So they establish Vaishnavism as the supreme aspect of the entire Vedic literature, and they did, and it is true. In many places, there are many references to bhakti, and Srila Vyasadeva himself was instructed by his spiritual master Narad Muni that he needs to compile a literature that focuses solely on the pastimes, on the glories of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that was the impetus behind compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada took all of that and compiled and translated that into the English language. And that is the wonderful thing that Srila Prabhupada did. And in multiple places in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this the glory of scriptures, reading scriptures, is said. In the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva says, Shreyasam iha sarvesham, jnanam nishreyasam param, sukham tarati dushparam, jnananor vyasana arnavam. That this comes in the conversation between Lord Shiva and the Prachetas, and he says that in this material world, there are different types of achievement. One can achieve different types of things, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest, because one can cross this material world, this ocean of science, only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. So what is this knowledge? Knowledge can be of different kinds, but the knowledge about Krishna is what is being said about here. The Prabhupada said in many purports that ignorance is the cause of suffering of the living entity. We don't know our real position, that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are his servants, and our duty is to not here, but go back to Krishna and serve him in the spiritual world. So that ignorance is the cause of all suffering. So that is why this Lord Shiva is also saying this, that the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada brings out that point in multiple places. Again, in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned. For example, one of the significant portions of the Srimad Bhagavatam is the life of Sri Rishabdev. So I will share my screen. There is a series of verses that comes where Rishabdev is talking to his sons, and in there I will highlight one section. He says, हंसे गुरौ मयि भक्त्यानुवृत्त्या वितृष्णया द्वन्द्वतितिक्षया च सर्वत्र जन्तोर्व्यसनाघताय जिज्ञासया तपसेह निवृत्त्या मत्कर्माभिर्मत्कथाय च नित्यं मद्देव सङ्गाद् गुणकीर्तनं मे निर्वैर्यसंयोपशमेन पुत्र जिहाशया देहगेहात्मबुद्धे अध्यात्मयोगेन विविक्तसेवया प्राणेन्द्रियात्माभिजायेन सादृक् सच्छ्रद्धाय ब्रह्मचर्येण शाश्वत् असम्प्रमेधेन यमेन वाचं सर्वत्र मद्भावविचक्षणेन ज्ञानेन विज्ञान विराजितेन योगेन धृति उद्यम सत्त्वयुक्तो लिंगम vyapohet kushalo aham akhyam. So the translation, this is 4 verses. So the translation, so this Rishabdev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is speaking to his 100 sons. The chief of him was Maharaj Bharat. O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. Philosophically inquire about the truth. Then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life air, mind, and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus, practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. So, in 2 places in this verse, reading the scriptures is mentioned, and that should be done in the association of devotees. Always associate with devotees. So last session I talked about the importance of association. So today we are talking about reading the books, the that Srila Prabhupada has translated, the Vedic literatures. So Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Nectar of Devotion. These were the 4 essential books that Srila Prabhupada said everyone must have read. And we should try to read the books because they are life changing. In another place, if I can find that verse. Yes. So there are many kinds of literature that are in sale. So you can see that the devotees are distributing literature, but so also you can see that if you go to, like in India, there is this Higginbothams, right? Just like Barnes and Noble here, Higginbothams. There are these bookstalls that are there in the railway stations, and there you can find that there are different kinds of literature, newspapers, books, magazines, etc., that are being sold, and people are buying from them. But the people who are selling them, they are not very, you don't see them very enthusiastic, right? and they are often looking at their watch, when can I go home, like that. But in contrast, the devotees who are distributing books, they are always cheerful, because what happens is that the Krishna Shakti, Bhakti Devi's Shakti, Bhakti Devi is the expansion of the Hladini potency of the Lord. Hladini means the pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. So she invests in the devotees who are distributing books. So they are always bright faced, and they are smiling. So the material world is full of literatures that cover various topics, right? So in the Bhagavatam, in the first canto, where Narad Muni is talking to Vyasdev and advising him to write a book that exclusively captures the glories of Lord Krishna, he says that Nayat Vachas Chitrapadam Harer Yasho Jagat Pavitram Pragrinita Karhichit Tat Vayasam Tirtam Ushanti Manasa Nayatra Hamsa Niramanti Ushikshayaha. That he says that those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. So that is a very strong statement that all the literature. Oh, I forgot, I am not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. Sorry. So the translation is what I am reading of that verse, that those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly person to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. And right on to the next verse, Narad Muni says, this is a very famous verse. Tadvaga visargo janadaga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavati api namani anantasya yasho ankitani yat trinavanti gayanti grananti sadavaha. That on the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So, if we want to be honest and want to make progress, then one will take to the reading of literatures like the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada has not only just translated these books, but he wrote elaborate purports on them. He could have just translated word by word, like this is what is being said. But no, in each of those purports, Srila Prabhupada brings out the conclusion of the Vedic literatures. He cites numerous references reinforcing a point. So this is the special mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would spend hours just translating one word to find that right word to use. And there are enormous ecstasies that are present in his writings. One example is in the Krishna book. There is the 31st chapter, which is the prayers of the gopis. And in there, the gopis are saying that, "Oh my Lord, we are your maidservants and slaves." Now, if you read like the translation in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? This is from the Krishna book. Krishna book is the compilation of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam only, but Srila Prabhupada wrote that first. And I will tell you why. But in there, that translation is there. But if you read the translation that was done by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada had left this planet and when he was translating the 14th chapter of the 10th canto, and the 31st chapter was translated by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Like they are very eminent personalities, Gopi Parananda Prabhu, Dravida Prabhu, Hridayananda Maharaj. They all translated, and they based the translation based on the translations of the previous acharyas. But This translation of "we are your maidservants and slaves," that word slave is not there. Why is that? Why did Srila Prabhupada use that word in his Krishna book translation? Right? The reason is it is not something that he did something that was not there. No, this is he was bringing out the highest ecstasies, bhava in his writings of the Krishna book. Right? This word slaves is in line with what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Shikshashtakam. Aslishyavam Pinashtumam Pada. I am forgetting. Aslishava Padaradam Pinashtumam Adarshavam Marmahatam Karotuva. That whether you embrace me or you trample me under your feet, you are my Lord, birth after birth. So a maid servant may sometimes protest, may think, oh, why should I do this? Why should I do this service or that service? But a slave will never protest. Now, this is not a very negative thing, especially in connection with the Supreme Lord. That the servant of the Supreme Lord is glorified by the Supreme Lord, and he gives him a position higher than himself. Krishna declares that I make my devotee so famous that he becomes more famous than me. This is the thing that Krishna does. So there is a transcendental competition between Lord Krishna and his devotees. One is trying to serve the other. And Srila Prabhupada brings out these ecstasies in his Krishna book. And I said I will talk about why he wrote the Krishna book first. Because Srila Prabhupada was in a hurry. He knew that he was a very old person and he could pass away any moment. He already had 3 heart attacks. So he wanted to ensure that his disciples, devotees, have some pastimes of Krishna to go by. So he wrote the entire Krishna book translation before he started the translation of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, so that devotees have something to go with. So usually you will see that other authors, they will make you read the whole book before they will come to the conclusion, what point they are trying to make. But there is a contrast in Srila Prabhupada's writings. Srila Prabhupada's writings, he writes the conclusion in the beginning itself. So that because he was not sure how long he had, he didn't want to waste time. So I will share one more aspect here. Let me share my screen. So we read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, right, where the prayers are there. The introductory prayers, right there. In the beginning itself, beginning itself, he has given the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that one can say, oh, that is part of some prayers in the. No, towards the end of that introduction, if you see right there, he gives again the chanting of his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. He didn't want a reader to wait till he reads the whole Bhagavad Gita before coming across the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he spent hours doing this. So when we say that we should read books every day, one of the excuses we will make ourselves and we may hear from others is that we don't have time. Now that is like an excuse, like okay, you can't argue with that, I don't have time. But we should find time, right? Just like because Srila Prabhupada spent time doing this for our sake. Like once Srila Prabhupada was questioned by a disciple in Hawaii that is it necessary to read your books? Can't we just do chanting? And Srila Prabhupada gave an example that yes, your chanting must be pure. And he said that, do you think that your guru is writing all these literatures so that he can sell those books and make some money? No, I'm writing this for your sake. So you should read. And Srila Prabhupada in the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in one of the purports, he writes that if a person doesn't read the writings of his spiritual master, gradually what will happen is that that person will just depend on eating and sleeping. and his devotional life will start to go down. Soon he will fall down from his position. So reading Srila Prabhupada's books is essential for us as devotees to at least remain as devotees. It is very essential. Giriraj Maharaj in one class, he said that one who doesn't read Srila Prabhupada's books is committing a subtle offense to Srila Prabhupada. Hmm? So this is very important. Now one may say that, oh, I'm not understanding anything, even after I read all those books. Huh? So there is a story in that regard. So once there was a disciple who came to his guru and he said, "My dear Guru Maharaj, I am trying to read your writings. I am trying to hear what you are saying, but nothing stays in my mind. I forget, and I don't know what use is there in reading if I cannot even remember anything." So the guru said, "Okay, here you take this. What is it called? A colander. You know what a colander is? It is used to drain water. So he gave this colander which was all rusted and dirty, and he said, "Go to the river and get water in this colander." And the disciple didn't understand why this guru is telling me to fetch water in a colander. I mean, all the water will fall out, right? He should give me a vessel or something. But he had faith in the guru only, at least to that extent that he wanted to follow the instruction. So he went to the river, collected water, brought it back, and by the time he reached the guru, it was all gone. So he went back and he got more water. Again, it was gone. So he repeated the process again and again and again. And finally, he just went to the guru and said, "My dear Guru Maharaj, it is not possible to collect water in a colander." And the guru said, "Yes, I know, but just look at that colander in your hand." So that's when the disciple looked at the colander and it was spotlessly clean. So the guru said, this is the same way with reading and hearing your guru, is that nothing may stick in your head, but your intelligence, your mind will become clean like that colander. It will become clean, sparkly clean. So that is the glory of reading Srila Prabhupada's books, is that our heart will become clear. And in a purified heart, Krishna will come and reside. It can attract mercy. Just like a mirror which is full of dust, you cannot see yourself. But when that dust is removed, it is cleaned, you can see yourself perfectly. So reading Srila Prabhupada's books should be one of the things that is a must do in our life. Every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day we should be able to serve Srila Prabhupada's writings, read it. And next month is going to be the month when the Srimad Bhagavad Gita was spoken, the month of December, right? So we can at least try to make some attempts. Srila Prabhupada in many, many places said that one should try to read. So we can all make that attempt. And as the verse I quoted before, it said from the Bhagavatam, right? Taya rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaste cheta etam anavidham stitam sattve prasiddhati. That by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, by serving the Bhagavata, one's heart will become purified. All the unwanted things are removed, and a person becomes situated in pure goodness. And in that stage, one will find real happiness. So I will end here. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, I don't know if I missed it or if you didn't share that, or maybe if you could share another time. Which was the temple wherein that writing was there, Prabhu? Just for quoting purposes, if you quote to other people, I could give more.
I didn't hear the name of the temple, Mataji.
Oh, okay.
I heard it in a class myself.
Oh, okay.
And but there was a devotee who went to that temple and saw this writing.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And I can find the name of that devotee. If I go back to that class, I can tell you the name.
Yeah, that'll be nice, Prabhu. So we can, when we tell this, we can quote and
Yes.
people can go and see.
So this happened after the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when the British had come,
Jai, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And the British were conquering, and the deity of Lord Vishnu spoke to the minister.
Okay. This is in South India?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the very nice class, Prabhu. As you were saying that many things many people know, but when you keep hearing, then you will, even if you can't see, your guru at least can see that some progress is being made. So thank you for stressing on that, and thank you for conducting the series of classes and so many nice points. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, thank you for the good class. I just had a question on this Gopi Gita, Canto 10, Chapter 31, which you touched upon. I mean, from the verses, it is quite clear that gopis were in exalted state. I mean, they knew Krishna was Lord Narayana himself. There's many comparisons there to Lord Narayana in that, although not what we hear, right? I mean, we hear, okay, they were not material conjugal love, but it was certainly more of a friend or a, more of a earthly relation. I mean, it's subtle, but until I saw Gopi Gita, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't know that gopis sort of knew that he was Lord Narayana. So, could you speak through that, Prabhuji? Yeah.
So the critical aspect about is that the gopis didn't care if Krishna is Lord Narayana or not. Because the bhava is one of madhurya. Madhurya means sweetness, and we are close to time, but I will try to summarize. In Vrindavan, madhurya is predominant. Aishwarya or knowledge of the opulence of Krishna is absent, almost absent. So, like in Dwarka, Aishwarya is predominant. That mood is predominant. But in Vrindavan, Madhurya is more predominant. So they have unalloyed love towards Krishna, not because Krishna is God, but they love Krishna. And Krishna himself has that love towards his devotees. So there is the pastime where once Krishna vanished from the vision of the gopis, and the gopis were looking for Krishna, and Krishna wanted to play a trick. And so Radharani and all the gopis were going, and Krishna manifested his four-armed Narayan form, and he was standing there. And the gopis saw Narayan standing, but they didn't start God is present here, let's worship him. No, they started asking Narayan, have you seen Krishna? Do you know where
Okay.
Krishna went? They were more interested in finding Krishna. And their love was so deep that Krishna couldn't maintain that form of Narayan, and he came back to his Shyam Sundar form. So the power of love, Madhurya, was so powerful that even Krishna could not keep up that face. Right? It's like if that love overpowered him. So that is a significant aspect of Gopi's love. Okay.
Okay.
That is a significant aspect. Madhurya is more powerful than the Aishwarya Bhav.
Thank you.
All right, we will end here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much, Ms. Jai Sachin Das, for speaking on the importance of hearing Krishna Katha and the importance of hearing with a non-envious ear. It's so important that you pointed out. Just looking at the example of Dhritarashtra and Arjun, both heard Gita, but one had attachments and envy and the other did not. And so it manifested fully in Arjun, the instructions. So thank you for doing that. I would like to encourage all the devotees. Last year we had the Krishna book contest doing some of the Dharmas Karthik. So you can all read from the Krishna book. as Madhava Hari pointed out, Srila Prabhupada brought out the deepest aspects of bhakti. Sometimes in the introduction, I was reading like Srila Prabhupada talks about, rasas in the intro to Bhagavad Gita. Nobody else does that. So kind of revealing the heart of bhakti very early on. So Krishna book allows one to continuously hear about Krishna. And then, like Prabhu said, next month is Advent Gita. So everyone can start reading a chapter a day according to your capacity and your family's capacity. It's really nice to do as a family. So please consider doing that. Thank you, Madhava, for emphasizing this point. It's Madhava Hari Prabhu Ki Jai.
His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Nathalas Prabhu, I'm on the road, so is there a way to show nice. Is there a way to show the deities and have which are devotees signed up today for kirtan to chant the mantra?
Hi Krishna Prabhuji, yeah, Sandhini will be singing today, and yeah, we'll share the deities darshan.
And then who will chant Nrsinga Deva prayers, Mataji?
I'll check and I'll announce, Prabhu, as soon as Sandhini's done. When Sandhini finishes at 12:50.
And then Damadasakam, is anybody lined up today or no?
Yes, Prabhu, I think so, yeah. I'll announce that also as soon as Nrsinglati is done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Please come to temple at 1 to 2:30. You can offer key wigs. We'll send out an email about how we're going to celebrate Govardhan Puja this year, given COVID restrictions, etc. So please be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Sandhini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vasya Tyajashatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vasya Tyajashatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Nitai bol, Nitai Gaura Hari bol, Nitai Gaura Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Nitai Gaura Hari bol. Harnaam Sankirtan Yagna ki jai.
Reverend for Madhava Hari, do we know who's going to sing this Sunday prayer?
Hare Krishna, Sunny, thank you so much for a beautiful kirtan. It's so nice to see other devotees also already offering lamps to Lord Damodar. Now we'll have Joshita here to sing Nrsimha Stuti. Joshita, please.